Hello there. I'm Dr. Samuel. Let me ask you a very familiar question. This morning, when you first woke up, as you turned your body, getting ready to step out of bed, did your knees feel a little stiff? Did you have to sit there for a few seconds? Maybe rub your legs a bit, waiting for your body to warm up before you felt ready to stand? Many people tell me, "Well, doctor, I guess that's just old age." I hear that phrase almost every single day. But let me ask you something, honestly. If it were really just about age, why is it that some people your same age can move more easily, feel less pain, and sleep more peacefully every night? In my more than 30 years of working with older adults, I've come to realize something very important. Many joint pains don't actually start in the joints. They begin with what we eat every day. There are everyday foods that seem completely harmless, but quietly feed inflammation inside the joints for years and years. And today, I want to talk with you about that in a clear, easy-to-understand way. In the next few minutes, I'll show you which foods may be making your joint pain worse day by day, and more importantly, what you can eat instead, so your joints have a chance to calm down and move more freely again. If you're living with joint pain, or if someone you love is struggling with it, I invite you to stay with me. Let's begin together. Now, I'd like you to think back over your meals from the past few days. In the morning, maybe a slice of white bread. At lunch, a small dessert or something sweet. In the evening, a soda or a familiar comfort food. If you see yourself in this, please don't worry. Many of my patients do the exact same thing. The truth is, you're not eating to hurt your joints, but refined sugar is quietly feeding inflammation inside your body. Sugar doesn't cause pain right away. It doesn't make you fall. It doesn't send you to the hospital, but a little bit each day. It's like adding more wood to a small inflammatory fire that's already smoldering inside your joints. One of my patients once said to me, "Doctor, I only have a little something sweet each day." But that little bit every day was exactly why his pain never fully went away. I never ask people to give up everything they enjoy. The body doesn't do well with extremes, and neither does the mind. What I recommend is very simple. Just a little less than yesterday. If you drink soda every day, start by cutting back to just a few times a week. If you're used to white bread and refined pastries, slowly replace them with whole grains. When you crave something sweet, choose fresh whole fruits like berries, mango, papaya. Eat slowly, chew well, and really notice the natural sweetness. These small changes won't make you feel restricted or deprived, but they give your joints a real chance to rest and recover. Let me explain this a little more clearly, because this is where many people have questions. Yes, fruit is sweet too, but that sweetness is very different from the sweetness in candy, pastries, or soda. The sweetness in desserts, candy, and soft drinks comes mostly from refined glucose. This type of sugar enters the bloodstream very quickly, causing blood sugar to spike and triggering a stronger inflammatory response in the body. The sweetness in whole fruits, on the other hand, comes from a natural sugar called fructose. And here's the key point. It always comes with fiber, water, and natural micronutrients. That fiber is what makes the difference. It causes the sugar to be absorbed more slowly, avoid sudden spikes in blood sugar, and not trigger inflammation the way refined sugar does. I often explain it to my patients like this. A glass of soda is like pouring sugar straight into your bloodstream. A whole apple is like letting sugar enter through a safety brake. Both are sweet, but the body handles them in completely different ways. And your joints, which are very sensitive to inflammation, will feel that difference more clearly than you might expect. A very common misunderstanding. When I ask my patients, "What do you usually eat in a day?" they answer very honestly, "Some beef, sometimes pork belly or chicken skin, fried food once in a while because it's convenient, packaged or ready-made foods to save time." And they usually add this sentence, "I don't eat that much, doctor, just familiar foods." But there's something very few people notice. The fat in meat, especially animal skin, belongs to the saturated fat group, while fried foods and processed convenience foods fall into the processed fat category. These foods don't cause pain overnight. That's why most people don't connect them to joint pain. Your joints are like door hinges. If you oil a hinge with dirty, old oil, it will still move, but it will squeak and grind and wear out much faster. Unhealthy fats work the same way. They won't make you fall today, but day after day, they make your joints heavier, stiffer, and more painful. The good news is, you don't need to change your entire life. You just need to change how you cook. Cut back on deep frying. Choose steaming, boiling, baking, or light pan searing instead. Limit packaged and processed foods. Just by cooking a little more simply, your joints will thank you more than you realize. Why these fats worsen joint pain? Saturated and processed fats trigger inflammatory responses in the body. Inflammation is quiet. It works silently. But when it lasts over time, it slowly wears down the joint cartilage. That's why so many people say, "My joints keep getting worse, even though I haven't injured myself." Something good that's often overlooked. After hearing that fat is bad, many people try to avoid all fats altogether. But here's the truth. Your joints are not afraid of fat. They're afraid of the wrong kind of fat. There are certain fats that are actually friends to your joints. Unfortunately, they don't show up very often in everyday meals. What to eat to help your joints feel lighter? I usually encourage my patients to slowly add back some very familiar foods. Olive oil for salads or light cooking. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, a few meals a week. Avocados and nuts like pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, peanuts, almonds, walnuts, in reasonable portions. For older adults, there's no need to be fancy. Just be consistent and keep it moderate. Why these fats help your joints? Unsaturated fats, especially omega-3s, help reduce inflammation, improve joint lubrication, and support cartilage repair. After a few months of dietary changes, many of my patients tell me, "Doctor, my joints feel less stiff in the morning." That's not a miracle. That's simply what happens when joints get the nourishment they need. A very common misunderstanding. Many older adults drink far less water than their bodies actually need. And when their joints start to hurt, they become afraid to move, worried it might make the pain worse. They tell themselves, "I'll just leave it alone and let it rest." But the truth is this: joints don't like being ignored. Very simple things you can do. You don't need heavy workouts. You don't need to be good at exercise. You only need to do two small things. Drink water consistently throughout the day, taking small sips often instead of a lot at once. And move gently. Slow walking, gentle joint rotations, light stretching. Not to work out, but simply to wake your joints up. Your joints don't need you to exercise perfectly. They just need you not to abandon them. Joint cartilage doesn't have its own blood supply. It depends on water and on movement to stay healthy. Water keeps cartilage soft and flexible. Movement allows nutrients to enter the joint and waste products to be flushed out. When you drink enough water and move gently every day, you're giving your joints the chance to take care of themselves. A gentle reminder without fear. Before we wrap up, I want to share something honest with you. If you keep eating and living the same way you always have, joint pain doesn't usually disappear on its own. It might feel a little better today, but it often comes back on cold mornings or during restless nights when you turn in bed. Not because you're weak, but because your body has been carrying the load for too long without the care it truly needs. Two people can be the same age. One steps out of bed with stiff, heavy joints. The other moves more easily, with less pain, and sleeps more peacefully each night. The difference isn't their age, but how they care for their bodies through small, daily choices. I'm not asking you to change everything, just 3 small things. Drink 1 extra glass of water. Skip or reduce 1 sweet treat. And take a few minutes for a gentle walk. That's it. But if you do that today and repeat it tomorrow, your body will begin to respond. And remember, every morning with less pain is a day you live with more freedom. If today's message felt helpful or reassuring to you, you can tap the like button, so I know I'm speaking to what truly matters to you. I'll see you again in the next video.